My name's Julie Wilson. I came to Mahendranagar about a year ago. Mahendranagar is about 18 hours from Kathmandu, so it's a very different place from Kathmandu. Within the first few weeks of being in Mahendranagar, I had clear goals in my head about what I wanted to achieve within sort of 6 weeks, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Some of that was written down on paper, others of that stayed in my head. And then I got into classrooms and I started teaching. And you quickly realise it's not going to take 6 weeks, it's going to take 6 years to do what you want to do. In terms of starting things off, I would go into a classroom originally and teach things like I teach in England. And I died, I failed. You know, I used to go home at the end of the day and think, this is madness. But I think slowly, and also by my attitude backing off at times and doing things their way, we both learned to come a little bit closer to each other. And that, to me, is what VSO is about. So that, I think, makes the experience very, very special. The volunteers who do well here are the ones who come with an attitude that they're going to learn, they're going to fit in, they're going to get to know people, have a bit of an adventure to try new things, and if they fail, try a bit harder tomorrow. I think it's a lovely opportunity to go to a culture that's different from your own, to speak a language different from your own. And while you might come here with an idea that you're going to change the world, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that, the volunteers that have really done well are the ones that have almost stepped back and 6 months later laughed at the attitude they first came out with. And to come out here and really question your values and question the things you used to believe in, yeah, that takes a big person to do that, and all credit to the people that do it.
It's very hard. It's very hard. It's very hard.
I think children here are different to children in the UK, and I think children here are very much more simple in the fact that they're happier, they get pleasure out of smaller things. They don't expect to be entertained, they're almost over the moon when something a bit different happens. And from a teacher's point of view, that's pure heaven. It really is lovely. When I walk into a classroom, they all stand up, and as it took me a while to realise in the beginning, they won't sit down until I tell them to. If I ask them a question, they stand up. So that means I've got to ask them to sit down afterwards. Very, very different environment, but I think England could benefit by some of the things we do in Nepali classrooms. In terms of how it's changed me as a person, completely. So living in an environment, adapting to the way they've had to live, that's a big change. The other thing I've changed, my values are very different. And while I will always still love a nice haircut, I won't hold it as one of the most important things. Because haircuts, bathroom products, they were also important. And now the most important thing is somebody smiling at me. Children's faces. To have maybe 1 or 2 days where nothing's gone right and you go home so low and you think, what am I doing here? But then the next day, they'll be doing something you did last week and it'll be going just as good or maybe better. That's, I know why I'm here. When I came out here, I never expected to change the world. I never expected to, go and help a developing country because we were better. But deep down, I probably did have an idea that England was better, if I'm honest. And coming here, you see classrooms, and my first thought was, hold on, this classroom is very bare. There's no pictures on the walls. How shocking. But the longer you're here, you realise, OK, there's no pictures on the walls, but the children are beautifully well behaved. They are so keen to learn. And I think VSO is about not changing things, but sitting down with other people, tweaking things, improving things, learning from each other. And I've got so many things in my head now that I want to go back to Britain. Because I've seen a different way of doing things here, I want to go back to Britain and try and change things, improve things, tweak things in Britain. So again, it goes back to it's a two-way thing. It's lovely.